I wanted to hand it over to our community officer. And if you could give us an update on what's going on in the neighborhood for the past couple months. We haven't seen you for a while, and any kind of news or bulletin information that you have.
Okay. Well, the past month has been actually really quiet for us in Shore Acres, as well as Venetian Isles. Would say it's happening there. It's happening in Shore Acres just as much. Both areas have been real quiet recently, but what we're seeing mostly is a continuation of vehicle burglaries to unlock vehicles. And if anybody remembers Bonnie Hargett from Snell Isles, she's not the president there anymore, but she is constantly sending reminders over and over and over again to lock your cars. Unfortunately, they still aren't listening. Pretty much almost every vehicle that we've had in Shore Acres, just not this past month, but in previous months, have all been unlocked vehicles. There is one specific car that seems to be running around through the whole city. It's a 2009 Chevy Malibu, silver. And they're just running around, and what they're mostly doing is going by construction sites and going into the trucks or vans because these guys never like to lock their cars. And they leave cell phones, wallets, everything else that in order for them to be taken. And that seems to be the big thing that one car is targeting. So basically what we would like to see is if anybody has neighbors who have workers coming. I know there's so much construction being done right now throughout all the islands. If they can just make their people aware to do the best they can to lock their cars. Don't leave your garage doors open. That's another thing that they keep looking for. And please don't leave your keys in the car, because we've had several cars being stolen. People walk into their house with their car running, walk out a minute later and their car's gone. It's just a constant thing over and over and over again. You know, you just can't seem to get these people to remember to do that. So that's what we did have. We did have the 2 vehicle burglaries to unlock vehicles. I know for a fact there was one on Carson Street that was done by the Malibu because they got the tag. They saw it flee when they got out with it, or when they saw them in their car. Fortunately, they somehow got off the island. We don't know how. I don't know how fast they got around, but they definitely went off the island. And then they were far west. Like I said, they're hidden everywhere, and it's not every day, but I wouldn't be surprised. So just keep that one in mind. If you see a silver Chevy Malibu running around slowly, you might want to keep an eye on them, or give us a call, because we're looking for it constantly.
Okay, we will, and I'll reemphasize, and we'll post. Be sure to lock your cars. I'm a little guilty of sometimes not locking mine, and I've just been lucky so far. So we appreciate that update.
That's what it is. It's part of just bad timing. I know that it's just, they just ride around and they're looking for someone someone's just pulling up to the house. Leave their car door open, leave their trunk open because they're taking groceries in or whatnot. And that's what they're doing.
Oh, wow.
They're definitely out riding around. They're not going fast until after they get caught or they get seen. Then they can come. They'll just get totally off the island.
Okay.
But other than that, we've done real well. We had a grand theft that was reported this past month, but it had been since the beginning of January, since he saw his 2 bikes and tools in his shed. So the time frame of that's kind of wide, and we don't have any suspects on that. But other than that, it's been real quiet. There's one thing that I would like to bring up, because it's definitely happening in Venetian Isles right now. And I know that they're everywhere, the golf carts.
Yeah.
People need to know that their kids, unless they are 16 years old and have a valid license, they cannot be driving a golf cart, period.
Is that right?
It's a misdemeanor. Okay. It's basically like driving. It's considered a motor vehicle, basically, and the regular golf carts, like the ones that are driving around on like gas power, not the gas power ones, the ones like the ones you see at the golf course, those are not legal to be driven on the streets at all.
Oh, I
The
see.
low speed vehicles, ones that can be licensed, I would appreciate if everybody would at least go get their thing licensed. It's not that difficult to do. Apparently they don't seem to check anything. Um, I have a link to that. I can send that to you, Gary, that I sent to Snell and Venetian Isles, and they're still having problems over there. Kids are still driving golf carts.
Okay.
Eventually, someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah, some of those golf carts are as
Well,
fast
especially
as
the
a
ones that are
car.
riding around, the typical golf carts with no lights, they're riding around at night and they're running
Right.
stop signs and they're just begging for trouble. I'll send you that link and we'll see what we can send out. What I have tried to do is get hold of this lady to find out what it would take in order to get basically Snell Isle, Venetian Isles, and Shore Acres to have their streets legal to have golf carts. Basically, be labeled as a road to be. Most of the area is within the speed limit that you should be able to drive a golf cart other than Overlook, pretty much anywhere throughout Shore Acres.
That would be awesome. Yeah, if we could get more information on.
She's been emailed 3 times. I've gotten nothing back from her, so I'm still waiting.
Okay.
I'll try her again because that's something I would have to put out. First of all, I'm pretty sure it would actually go through the neighborhood association. I went through Michael Fredericks. He told me exactly who to go to. Unfortunately, I haven't heard anything back, but it still doesn't mean that they can't drive ones without licenses. That these low-speed vehicles need to be licensed and driven by an adult or even a 16-year-old kid, but it has to have a valid license. And this information has been brought out, but it's fallen on deaf ears. And I just don't want to start going around. These kids may never get a license if I give them a ticket or two for a misdemeanor ticket. And it'll take them a long time to get their actual legitimate license if I do that. And I don't want to, but it's getting to the point I'm getting so many complaints about them that we're gonna have to finally start taking some enforcement.
Okay. I think it's a problem that we didn't have 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And there's just more people getting these golf carts, and the golf carts, they're really little cars, they go plenty fast. And yeah, I've seen like 11-year-olds cruising down the street with
I mean, I actually
some kid hanging out the back.
I wasn't involved in the Christmas prayer with that, but I drove by it, and you would be amazed at how many golf carts were actually out. I mean,
Yeah.
A lot. So, and it seems, I don't see why we couldn't make it that way, but I need to find out how we would go about doing that. But it still means you have to have your certain things legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of information I got to wait to get to find out.
I will say, though, there has been some chatter in the group that while you're here, we could bubble up regarding the diversion of cars naturally because of the construction that's beginning on the bridge. We're seeing obviously an influx of traffic on 62nd and the other egresses that we have available. And so there, of course, has been more concern about speeders and a request for like increased police presence. I think that's probably, although the golf carts is important because if they are young children, I myself have seen, must have been 13 years old driving a golf cart, but nonetheless, I think that's probably a smaller occurrence than probably speeders on 62nd. So I did just want to voice that up while we have you.
I know apparently from the sign they're starting construction on Monday. I don't know what their plans are. Are they going to keep it to 2 lanes like they've had recently? Are they going to shut the whole thing down again? Which does make
the intent is to keep it open, but I think depending on the construction and what they're actually constructing, the other day they had it one direction and they had, the stop on one side and slow on the other, and they had to switch that back and forth. So a worse inconvenience for me personally would be having to go around, so I can handle that. But I think it's just noted that during the construction time, I'm sure we'll see an increase in the other egresses.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen again. And then I'll get complaints from Snell Isle along Snell Isle Boulevard, but they can't go too fast down there because if you've been down there recently, they have construction going on there as well. So and they're doing the same thing, sending traffic one way, sending job, but that varies between which day it is. So it's becoming, I see them turning into the neighborhoods. I know I'm going to get a complaint about that. Because God forbid they got to go turn and go 3 blocks out of their way, and they're going to be going fast through the neighborhood. That they shouldn't be going faster. But yeah, I'm aware of it. We're going to still try to figure out what we can do to help. We'll see how it rolls off the first couple of days. Hopefully, it transitions well.
I did speak with the city engineer, and I'm not real comfortable with describing it, but they found a way to cut the 4 weeks of the bridge closure down to 3 weeks, and to stage some of the construction equipment on a barge instead of on the land. And they said that's going to help quite a bit. But the design of the construction of the bridge, from what I understand, they kind of just have a slab that they install for the bridge. So it kind of caps down. So there's no way to get around having a total bridge closure, but we'll do the best we can to inform the neighborhood and let them know, don't speed on Snell Isle.
Yeah.
and
Well,
there's going to be a lot of diversion.
people who live over Snell Isle anyway. Trust me, I know that.
Yeah.
Gary,
And
if I may.
Oh, go ahead, please.
So yeah, one of the big concerns that I keep hearing about is the school on 62nd. Because there's going to be more traffic going that direction, it makes it very difficult to get in and out of the school parking lot for drop off and pickup because, well, nobody wants to stop and let people out. Can we do something about that?
I know that they've been putting cones out to allow the cars to come out to get back onto the street once you drop the kids off. To go west. And as far as I know, he's still been doing that. And that was a big issue. People could not get out. But ever since then, I started it, and then he took it over for me. We blocked off that inside lane, so everybody coming off of Bayou Grande or Tanglewood had to go to the north lane to continue. There was one lane for them. Anybody coming out of the parking lot who wanted to go to the west could automatically go west without having any impediment from the other traffic. I haven't been by there that early recently, but he says he's still been doing that. So hopefully it shouldn't be. It slows down the people coming from Bayou Grande, but then again, they're rude enough not to let anybody out anyway, so they can go slower.
Yeah, I know those cones have made a big difference. I've been dropping my kids off there for 8 years, a long time. And whoever thought of putting those cones out deserves a big hug, because it used to be you could not get in there and get out of there. Nobody would let you in or out.
That's why I went and grabbed those cones from, these are older cones. That's why I didn't care about getting them back. And I actually know the guy who works there. He's actually a friend of mine. He's been bringing that. He's an ex-sheriff. So he's doing the school resource thing guy there. And he's been keeping those in his truck, and every morning he's putting those back out.
Please give him our gratitude, especially from me as a parent.
Well, I already do, because there was a lot of complaints about that originally until we kind of corrected that. And then I got it on the backside that, it's taking too long to get off of Bayou Grande to come around. What's the school zone? You're going to go 15 miles an hour anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough 3 or 4 weeks when that bridge is closed. We'll just do what we can.
I'll be ready for it.
Okay. All right. Anybody else a question? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's great to see you again. I'll be sending an invitation, and you're welcome every single time we have a meeting. And if you have anything that you'd like to discuss, just get hold of me, and I will turn around and give that information to the community.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you. We appreciate you.
All right.
All right.
You have a good night.
You too. Thank you.